That's what we'll use for jobs. The #1 crisis right now is the damage done to our economy because we've forgotten that the private sector creates jobs. We need to, #1, make sure our dollar means something and to make sure our monetary system is intact. #1. That's why auditing the Fed is so critical at this time. We need to make sure we have less regulation and not more. We need to make sure the IRS is not growing by any number. In fact, I would argue for just stop spending. Wouldn't that be refreshing? If you send people in to just say no to spending. We're fighting a mindset today. A mindset that, one, either government can solve every single problem that you have, and by the way, they're going to charge you for it, or two, favors for votes, greed and corruption. And that, my friends, is a bipartisan sport. I disagree with the nonsense of both of those thinking. Government cannot solve every problem, and in fact, government is the problem to most of the problems this country has. I will stand up to both of those ridiculous ideas. And I've made a pledge, we'll put it on the website, and it says, my votes will not be for sale. I will work on the core principles that we need in place. Not only limited government, which should be paramount, but the principles under the Constitution, but also the rule of law. Most of the problems today would be cleaned up if lawmakers would just obey the laws. Education is always an important issue. It's always an important issue. It's why I went out into the private sector and started the businesses I did. But I'll tell you one thing. It doesn't take a village to raise a family. It takes a family to raise its children. And that means we need free market competition so that parents and children have the best choices in either homeschooling, parochial schooling, voucher schools, charter schools, or whatever they decide is the best fit to educate their own children. Now I'm going to get back to cap and tax. My general opponent was proud of his vote on cap and trade. You know, the bill that planted all those trees in Saudi Arabia? They did. It's in there. 1,300 pages of nonsense. He's proud of that vote. That'll penalize small businesses by more government interference after layer after layer after layer, because that's the bill they're going to take up next after the health care nonsense. The Senate is going to take up cap and tax because they haven't had enough time to dig into one of your pockets. They found a hole in there. You're running out of money, you guys, I guess. So they put their hand in the other pocket until you can say no. We're going to be saying no come the fall elections in September, and especially in the November elections of 2010, we're going to all say no. I will make sure to expose any hidden or flagrant tax hiking proposal for what it is. Cap and trade is just that. Obama health care threatens our elderly the most. I am just starting to dig into the paperwork to really identify how many cuts are going to be coming around the corner and how many decisions are going to be taken away from our elderly. And I'm getting up in age, so I'm getting close to that 65 watermark. So I want to make sure for our children and our grandchildren that we restore freedom and free principles in this country so that we can get government back on track the way the Founding Fathers had intended it to be. I'm standing here as a candidate for the United States House of Representatives. Representatives is the operative word. It is the first article of the United States Constitution for a reason. because we're supposed to be accountable as representatives to the people of this great country, and that is you. Now, I must tell you one last thing before I close, and that is without your help times 100, and this is a terrific place to start, but without your help in these primary elections, which are key elections, the primaries, you will choose whether or not a machine candidate gets through the primary that will follow the leader, fall in line, and do as they're told, more earmarks, more of the same, or if you will get a representative of, by, and for the people that'll stand up and make sure that your liberties and your constitutional rights are not taken away. We need you in the primaries. If you do not get involved in these primaries against machine candidates, I guarantee nothing will change. We may change jerseys on the baseball field, but the game will be the same. What we need are game changers, and that's why the Campaign for Liberty is critical to this nation. In our fight for freedom, in our fight for the United States Constitution, I ask all of you to stand up. I ask everyone in this room to raise your lantern for light and liberty. Hold us all accountable so that together we can restore this great nation. Thank you very much.